Good afternoon, everybody. My name's John Margate, and I'm the Client Relationship Manager at OneSearch Direct. The main part of my role is to look after our clients and ensure that we continue to deliver the best level of customer service for them. So thank you for joining us today. It's recommended that conveyancers run a lender check on the day of instruction and at the very least just before exchange, to ensure that there have been no changes to the policy. Recent data, however, suggests that this isn't always happening, and on average, only one check is being done. Now, given the constant Lender Handbook Part 2 changes, this potentially leaves conveyancers vulnerable against PI claims. This can easily be avoided. So what we're going to look at in today's webinar, in association with Navro, is the frequency of handbook changes and the importance of obtaining updates before submitting your COT to the lender. I'd now like to hand over to Mike Giorgio, Director at Navro, who will explain more about how this can work for you and your firm and how easy it is to implement this to ensure there are no changes to the policy that could leave you and your firm exposed. There'll also be a Q&A button, so feel free to ask any questions and we'll endeavour to answer as many as we possibly can. So over to you, Mike.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon, everybody, for what I hope will be an enjoyable and insightful presentation into Navro and the LC-5. So, Navro, which means to find, was set up to create a number of bespoke tools to help you, the conveyancer, in your daily tasks. The LC-5 is the first of these tools, and this is what we'll be demonstrating today. So what is it? The LC-5 is a check on the Part 2 requirements for each lender and is available for all lenders listed on the UK Finance website. This shows you This, as you know, is a key requirement for conveyancers in the daily workload. And as you need to know how a lender wants you to act on their behalf in the process of the conveyance. The report was created with the input of conveyancers for conveyancers. So why is it needed? Why have we created this? If you have been practicing for a while, you will know that the CML Council of Mortgage Lenders Handbook was a printed book that was published, I believe, twice a year. Conveyancers would subscribe to this and follow the instructions for each lender as printed in the book. In recent times, the handbook moved to online and was available to view via the CML website. On the 29th of July last year, 2020, the responsibility of the handbook moved to UK Finance, and this is now the go-to source to view a lender's requirements. What this has done is each lender now has their own login details to their own section of the handbook. This means they can log in and then they can access and make changes to their Part 2s and then at any time of the day or night, and they're making good use of this. Since moving to the UK Finance, and as of this morning, 80 lenders have made updates to their Part 2s this year, with 128 questions being updated in total. Here's a few examples, and we've chosen HSBC because they're one of the most active. But HSBC have made updates on 11 occasions since the 18th of January, a space of 3 months. Within that period, 36 questions have changed, and 4 updates were actually made in 1 week alone between the 27th of January and the 3rd of February. Another example, Metro Bank have accepted regulated personal searches at question 5.45 from as far back as November 2020. For a brief moment in February, this year, this changed to a no. This reverted back to a yes, they will accept within a day or so. How would you prove this? how would you show that you had acted the right way when you'd carried out your conveyance? So why is this an issue? Firms receive their Part 2 notifications in different ways. This could be within an instruction pack directly from a lender, to a reminder subscription service of some kind, by physically visiting the UK Finance website, or the most dangerous one is, I know my lender. They work with lenders so often that they think there's no need to be checking or updating the current requirements at the time of exchange, or submitting their COT. Some firms receive updates centrally and distribute to fee earners, but in this case, updates may not filter through to each conveyancer in a firm in a timely manner, as this quote from one of our clients shows. I remember a few years ago when Lloyds Banking Group would no longer accept a new build structural warranty provider and amended their CML handbook entry. At the time, there was a delay between that decision and our knowledge of it, which could have caused the problem for us. This shows the kind of problems that could arise when working with Part 2s. So why is this actually an issue? Like us, you'll probably be surprised to know that UK Finance does not keep records of when changes are made. The only time you will see a change has been made is if you visited the UK Finance website, which would show you the date of the last update. If a conveyancer has followed the wrong instruction at the time they were making a submission, there is no way to prove what should have been done as of a certain date, unless they'd kept their own records as proof. There is no fail-safe way to record changes for auditing and backdating if you are visiting the UK Finance website solely. There is a further anomaly in the way UK Finance records their changes, which I'll touch on later. This is the LC-5 report, what it looks like. And we'll go through this a bit later on how the whole thing works, but a report is individually referenced, so you can assign it to a file. The date and timestamp is shown. The timestamp is important because going back to when lenders being able to log in at any time, you need to be able to prove the time that you checked your Part 2s. The report date has a date range of when the last report was run, and old and new answers are shown in comparison, and it can be printed or saved in case management systems or a file for audit purposes. And it also shows which updates you are looking at. The secret is in the name. You can make up to 5 updates within the life of each case with the LC-5 report. And if I just touch on this, you can see on the left here, you've got the date, the time, which lender it relates to. Here's the date range, your reference for your file, and which file. And here in red, and I know it's a little bit out of focus here, but it shows there has been a change. And you will see this in more detail when Jared demonstrates how to order the reports. When we've run an update on the report, you will then see that this one is in green and shows there's been no change since the date of your last report. So in a working example, you would run the first report. If there had been changes, they'll be in red. And then just before you exchange, or when you're acting on a particular part, you run an update, and this will show you if there's been any changes or not. You won't need to then go through the report and find which questions you're looking for and identify the parts you need to. I mentioned earlier an anomaly that takes place with the new UK Finance website. This is when a lender logs into their account but does not make any significant changes to any of the Part 2 questions. The physical act of logging in will register a new date or latest update, but many will go in and either correct a spelling mistake or grammar mistake, or in many cases, as we've seen, where they've had the text in complete solid blocks, they'll add a paragraph to make it easier to read. So there's no actual changes in their requirements, but they're logged as such. What we have done to address this is, to create what we call our blue report, which shows that there has been an update, but no actual changes that you need to be concerned about have been made. So what are the benefits of using a Navro LC-5 report? First, standardized practice procedures. By running a report with each case, all fee earners within a firm are following the same standardized procedures. By keeping copies for auditing and claims purposes, you are protecting yourselves against future claims. Those of us who have been in the industry for a while will know that when the current surge in conveyance cases ends, with a possible downturn in the economy and the repossessions that might occur, the lenders will start looking for possible errors in the conveyancing process. So, as with valuers, you are possible targets for any claims. By having proof of the requirements in your files, you are therefore protecting your PI. OneSearch Direct is the first provider to be fully integrated with Navro, and the LC-5 report is available to order directly from the ordering portal as a standalone individual item or as part of your search packs. Furthermore, OneSearch Direct is offering a free sample for you to try. I'm going to pass over now to Jared from OneSearch Direct to show you how the reports are ordered via the ordering platform. So it's over to you, Jared.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, everyone. I'm going to share my screen now. Give me a second. I'll share the ordering portal. There we go. Okay, so so my name's Jared. I'm a part of the team at OneSearch, and one of my roles is to help clients with the ordering portal. So the first time that you want to order one of these LC-5s, it might be myself that you speak to kind of guide you through the process. It's nice and easy though, and I'll run you through it now. Now, as Mike said, one of the great things about the product is you're not bound to how you can order it, meaning you can order it as part of your normal search bundle, if that's how you want to use it, or you can order it as and when you need it. So before you order the normal searches, maybe when you order the AMLs, or afterwards, it's completely up to you. So I'm logged into the OneSearch ordering portal now. I'm going to click on Order Compliance Products. I'm going to pop in a reference and click Save Reference. And you'll see here we've got LC-5 Lender Checker. So I'm going to add that to the order. It then asks for the lender which you want to report on. So for this example, I will choose HSBC, just to keep it consistent with Mike's presentation. It then asks for the start date. Now that's the date that you want the report to use to highlight any changes. So if I popped in there the 1st of January 2021, it'll highlight any changes to that lender's handbook since the 1st of January 2021. Okay. It defaults to today's date because 99% of the time that's the date you're going to want to use, but you can put in any day you like. So I'm going to put in the 1st of April, sorry, the 1st of March. And then I'm going to click Save Details. Okay. So that's saved in the basket. Now you can order anything else alongside it, of course, but for this, I'm just going to order the LC-5 and nothing else. So let's click Place Order. Okay. Then you get an order confirmation screen with the order number and that kind of thing. Now, the great thing about LC-5 is it comes back really quickly, within 5 minutes. Now, if I click on Previous Orders, here's the order. So I'm going to click on the product and I can download the result instantly. So let's have a look at that result. Okay. So here's a report, practically the same example as Mike's just ran you through because we use the same date ranges. So you get a summary at the top of the date of the report itself, the time of the report, and the date range that was entered when you submitted the order. and then you get a list of all the different changes. So highlighted in red being the new wording that has been changed, and then also the previous wording, so you can see what it was beforehand. And that goes on all the way through the report. And then at the bottom of the report, you'll have a copy of the most up-to-date lender handbook entries for that lender that you've chosen. So you've also got a copy of the latest set, okay, built into the same report. Now, the great thing about LC-5 is you get 5 refreshes free of charge. So if you've ordered the first one, your first report, at the start of a transaction, chances are towards the end, ready for exchange, you're going to want to refresh that report just to double check nothing's changed since the transaction started, right? So that's nice and easy in the OneSearch portal. You would find the previous order, and there is a dedicated button that says Order LC-5 Refresh. So I'd click that, and it gives you a count, first of all, how many refreshes have been ordered, so you know how many you've got left free of charge. You click Order Refresh of LC-5, and that's that. It'll order it. Again, that takes a couple of minutes to come back, and you can download that, and what that will show you is any changes that have taken place to the lender's handbook since the last report that was run. Okay, so in this example, nothing's going to have changed because I ran the report a couple of minutes ago, but in a transaction it might go on for a month, 2 months, maybe a bit longer. You're going to start running into changes. One thing LC-5 can also be used for is for auditing. So if you want to go to a previous transaction that's already completed and audit, when the lender handbook changed to make sure that everything internally within the firm was handled correctly, it can also be used for that. You can select a previous date to report from, check everything was handled correctly. But the great thing about having it within the OneSearch portal is you're not having to log into different places to order things. You're not having to remember yet another set of login details because nobody likes that. So that's pretty much it. If you've used the OneSearch ordering portal before, I'm sure you'll have no problems ordering this. But you've got myself, your account manager and customer services as well that can help you with that, especially if you want to give it a free sample to see what it's like. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Jared, for the, well, I hope you can all see how easy the report is to order and really simply, to read. And the important things are the highlighting the changes, because one thing I didn't mention earlier is that if you visit the UK Finance website, you need to scroll through all the questions to see where a change has been made, because it doesn't even highlight any changes. All it tells you is the date that a change has been made. So really, the most important message that we kind of use here is the power of the LC-5 is the update, to see just before you make any important decisions on your conveyance that you've got the latest part 2s. So at this point, I think that ends the demonstration and the presentation. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. It's the Q&A button on the bottom of your screens.
Just while we wait for any questions, in terms of getting your hands on a free sample, you'll all receive an email afterwards, inviting to get a free sample, but feel free to get in touch as well with your account manager or anybody on this meeting, and we can handle it out as well.
Okay. If you do have any questions after this presentation's finished, just forward them through to your account manager, and I'd be more than happy to reply to any questions that you might have. I think in that case, can I pass over to John to finish off the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mike, and thank you all for joining us today. I hope you've all found the session useful and informative. Just to reiterate, LC-5 Lender Check is available either as part of your bundle or it can be ordered separately. If you do have, as Mike said, if you do have any further questions once the session's finished, please get in touch with us, either myself or your account manager. We'll be very happy to help. In the meantime, thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Goodbye.